Yo, what is up?
What's up, guys? I'm back.
Okay, listen. Yo, what is up, y'all? Welcome back to the Father Built Podcast.
Yeah.
I'm your
Say
host.
that twice.
I'm your host, Bobby Peacock. And this podcast is all about building up fathers in holiness, healthiness, happiness, aiming to give father and men the tools to build their house of legacy. Like I said, my name is Bobby Peacock. And obviously I have a guest on this podcast. Now, let me tell you a little something about this guest, all right?
Oh, gosh.
One, this guest is a husband. He's a father. He is currently a girl dad. He's a photographer, videographer, road manager, musician, worship leader, music producer, entrepreneur. I would say one of the funniest guys I know, so I'm going to say comedian, and one of the hosts of the Between Us podcast. And lastly, one of my best friends and brother. Welcome to the podcast, Abraham Perez, a.k.a. Cheeks.
Yo, what's up?
What's up, dog?
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, so I got to get two elephants out of the room.
Okay.
We have another special guest. You can't see this special guest.
Yeah.
She is chilling in the room. Who is it?
This is my kid, Everly.
Everly. Can you say what's up, Everly? So she's with us, and
This kid.
And then the other elephant in the room is how many times have we recorded this episode?
We've done this 3 times. This is the third time.
This is the third time.
This is the third time I've done. We've attempted to record this podcast. The first one, supposedly, files got corrupted.
Supposedly. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So in my language, supposedly the files got corrupted, which they did.
Sure.
They did get corrupted. Yep.
The second time,
we went a little too hard
I
in
guess
the
your
paint.
boy put too much sauce on the episode.
We both went a little.
We went a little crazy.
Yeah, we kind of went a little too unfiltered, and I just didn't feel right about it.
That's fine.
But you know what? You're the first guest of 2025.
Let's go.
Yeah, so new year, new you kind of
Hopefully
thing.
this episode actually makes it.
Yeah.
I remember the first time he told me, "Yeah, I won't be out for like 6 weeks." I'm like, "What the heck are we doing this now then?"
Yeah, so this won't be out till like 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks. So
Okay,
once
whatever.
again, yeah. So, anyways, can you for the third time tell the people who you are?
I'm a dad. Well, my husband. I'm a dad. I'm a Christ follower. I'm not in that order. Anything that has to do with creativity, I try to be a part of.
Yeah.
Pretty simple. Pretty simple. I love music. I love worship leading.
Yeah.
That's probably my biggest passion is music and worship leading. So
yeah, that's dope. And you're married?
Oh yeah, I'm just kidding. Yeah, married for 6 years.
It's been 6 years.
It's been 6 years.
It's been that long.
Yeah, 6 years.
Wow.
We got 2 girls.
Yep.
One's 4.5, right?
Yeah.
Another one's 11.
Wow.
So
6 years, 2 kids,
2 girls. I got 2 dogs.
Yeah.
There's a lot of what's the word, estrogen.
Yeah, estrogen
in my house.
Yeah.
If you include all the Alexas and
and Series and smart devices, man, that is wild. So obviously, this podcast is about fatherhood, and even in your family, you have a little bit of a unique experience of being not just a biological father, but also
I'm a stepdad.
You're a stepdad,
a bonus dad.
A bonus dad. I like that. You're a bonus dad.
Yeah.
So what's that dynamic like?
Thankfully,
in your house? Yeah.
Thankfully, so we have our 11-year-old who's my stepdaughter.
Yeah.
We have her 50-50.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
1 week on, 1 week off.
Yeah.
I thank God that the dad is actually really involved.
Mm-hmm.
And like he's not a deadbeat.
Yeah.
So I have like no right or desire to like pull her away from that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that dude loves her. Obviously.
Yeah.
Like I was gonna say like a daughter, but duh.
Yeah.
But like he's very involved. She loves him. So it's a great dynamic. And
Yeah.
my wife and I have been able to co-parent very well.
Yeah.
So that's a big blessing.
Yeah.
Because that's not common.
Yeah. And what's that relationship like with co-parenting? I mean, is it mainly just you? I mean, excuse me, your wife and him communicating, or like, are you in the communications too? Or
So I'll intentionally leave myself out
yep. Mm-hmm.
of the communication that has to do with the 11-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll give my input, my opinion.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But like I said, they co-parent very well to where they can make decisions as her parents.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's great.
Yeah.
They're very cordial. They're very respectful to each other.
Yeah.
And it's pretty great. It's cool because in a certain perspective, you see that dynamic from like the outside looking in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you get a bigger or a different perspective, so that when your input is asked for,
Yeah.
it's different, and it comes from a place of just being mindful of everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. No, that's dope, man. That is dope. Now, I know this is our third time, and so I remember some of the topics that we talked about.
you better. We did this 3 times.
I know, right?
Cool.
Oh, she's doing fine. We're just keeping this organic.
All right. I'll beat the kid.
You'll watch. If you're watching this, you're gonna experience Cheeks fathering as he's doing this podcast, man. That's great. But like, we talked about soft parenting. You remember that conversation?
We did.
Yeah. And like, can you bring a light like what soft parenting is and how you feel about it? I don't even know if soft parenting is the right language for it.
I think the term is gentle parenting.
Okay, gentle parenting. Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, gentle parenting is when you try to get down to the kid's level and reason with him or her. Hold on. I can't hear you.
When you're doing the podcast, I can go upstairs.
Yeah. Wow, that's great.
There's toys up there, so it's in the bin.
When we're done? No, when we're done. Not right now. Yeah. I need you to sit down, please.
Why? We're recording. We're in the middle of recording the podcast.
Can you sit down, please? Thank you. Sorry.
No need to apologize, man.
All right. So gentle, I think the term is gentle parenting.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you try to reason with the child.
Yeah.
I find that very, how do I say this in a nice way? Counterproductive.
Okay.
Because just the idea of trying to reason, like for example, in my case, if I try to reason with a 4-year-old,
yeah,
nothing's gonna get done.
Yeah. So can you give me like if we're gonna break this down even more, can you give me like just like an example?
So, and I could be completely wrong, but an example could probably be like if my daughter, let's say we're at the store and she's throwing a tantrum.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And my way of gentle parenting would be to kind of like see her eye to eye, so like get on a knee or something.
Yeah. Yep.
And like ask her, why are you doing this? How do you feel about doing this? Like kids that age,
yeah,
they're not worried about feelings right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it could be feelings and emotions, but they don't know that.
Yeah.
They are like the furthest away from knowing that just yet.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not saying kids don't have emotions or feelings. But they express it in a way where that's not what it is to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because they're still trying to navigate and figure out their emotions and feelings. Yeah.
And just the thought of, just think about this for a little bit. You're trying to reason with a 4-year-old.
Yeah. They may not know reason yet.
Yeah.
They don't know reason
like
yet.
Today, I picked up my kid from school.
Yep.
And I was like, how was your day? Great. What'd you do? I don't know.
My son does that all the time. Yeah. Yep.
And in my head, I can't be like, how did you have a good day if you don't know what you did?
Yeah.
Like, I can't tell her that because she's not going to understand.
Yep.
that conversation.
Yeah, 100%.
So I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. At least you had a good day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, we've been doing good because she's in preschool.
Yeah. You gonna tell a story?
I am.
Yes, let's do it.
The first week of preschool, we get a call from the school.
Yep.
And her teacher, she's like, "Hey, I'm gonna have to talk to you guys when you get here."
Yep.
And I went to go pick her up. So
yeah.
I'm like, "Oh snap! Hold on, chill."
She called you out.
She did.
She said you be late all the time.
I was late yesterday. Anyway,
Oh no. Okay.
So I went to the school.
Yep.
And the teacher comes up to me, and I'm thinking the worst, like she punched the kid,
yeah,
or hit a teacher or something.
Yeah, for sure.
And the teacher comes up to me laughing.
Oh no. She's
like, she was exact words. It's not okay, but it was actually pretty funny. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, what'd she do? And she's like, well, your kid called another kid an idiot.
Yeah.
I'm like,
and where do you think she got that from?
Yeah, and in my head I was like, yeah, that checks out.
Yeah.
That's my kid. Yeah. And it was funny because she was like, it's okay, it was funny. Mm-hmm. And maybe the kid was being an idiot. Who knows? Anyway, that's not the point. But like it's like the next week, every day that I pick her up, I ask her, hey, how was your day?
Yeah.
Same answer. Great. What'd you do? I don't know.
Yep.
But a couple seconds afterwards, she was like, I didn't call anybody an idiot today. And I was like, well, we're making progress.
That's progress. That's progress. So, going back to that gentle parenting, because I feel like there's this whole mindset of like, okay, you got to help your kids acknowledge their feelings, which I believe in.
Okay.
But it's also like, that you need to allow them to express their feelings in the way that they feel they need to express them. And I don't believe in that. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I also disagree with that.
Yeah.
I don't think my kid being a complete douchebag to another person is just a matter of, she's just expressing her feelings right now.
Yeah. Yep.
Or scream crying in a grocery store. Or
yep.
Talking back, having an attitude because she's sad.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go ahead and beat the kid.
Yeah.
But I'm not just going to let the kid do that.
Yeah. You need to, because I feel like there's a lot of parents out there, and both fathers and mothers who rather be their parent's best friend than their parent's parent.
Yep.
Or their child's parent. Mm-hmm. So they rather be their child's best friend than their child's parent.
And that's just a recipe for failure.
Oh, 100%.
Because you allow them to treat you as a friend.
Yeah.
So there's a different level of respect that diminishes your parenthood.
Yeah. And there's a difference between how you treat me as like a friend versus how you're going to treat your dad.
Oh, absolutely.
Like
absolutely.
You can rip into me and we can jive, but like some of the stuff that you say to me off camera, knowing you might get away with saying that to your dad, but
no, like I know, like I'm dumb. Like I'll say dumb stuff all the time.
Yeah. And
I'll know the consequences. Like I know I can say like, remember Christmas?
Yeah.
We can't share that.
We could share it, but we can't share what you said. So
okay, so Bobby joined my family and I, my brother, my wife, my parents.
Yep.
For our family Christmas on Christmas Eve. So we had dinner, hung out, did the whole thing.
It was great.
And
great
we're
time.
opening up gifts. And me, just every time somebody's opening up a gift, I'm just like, wow. Just very obnoxious, very loud for no reason. And I have this issue where I sometimes let intrusive thoughts win.
No, not true.
That is very true.
Very true.
That's not
Okay.
All right. Anyways.
And so in that thought, after it was somebody was opening a gift and I was like, wow. Then all of a sudden, boom, thought. I said a lyric of a song that I can't say on camera.
Yeah. And I caught it on camera.
And he caught it on camera, but it's also something you don't say in front of your parents. So like I said that, and I know that Bobby, my brother Jonathan, will laugh about it.
Yep.
But I know my parents, they're going to slap the crap out of me. Like my mom till this day, like she'll say, like, I don't care if you have kids and a beard, I will beat you.
Oh, snap.
And that's just the that's just the Hispanic nature of Hispanic women.
Does she take the sandal off?
No, not anymore.
Not. Oh, but she used to.
She doesn't need a sandal. She'll throw anything that's in her reach.
So that's a real thing. Like,
The sandal's a real thing.
have you ever experienced the
Oh, yeah.
sandal?
But like, it doesn't matter. There's a level of gangster in each Hispanic woman.
Oh, that's so. Can you repeat that, please?
There's a different level of gangster in each Hispanic woman.
Okay. All right.
Some women like to stay, I don't want to say typical, but traditional.
Yeah.
And use a sandal.
Yep.
My mom, she uses anything that's in arm's reach.
Dang, you better hope a knife is not. I mean, within limitations, though.
I
right?
mean,
true.
so I've had coat hangers thrown at me. I've had a full-blown iron thrown at me. I've had a sandal thrown at me. I got hit with a ladle once. And like her hand too, so it's whatever's in reach.
Wow.
She doesn't limit herself to just sandals.
Wow. And this is why you're not a gentle bear.
No. But you know what I mean? Like I think I came out all right.
Yeah, I think
Like
so.
it built the I believe that it built the tough skin that I needed to be a parent.
Yeah. The 90s and early 2000s was a different.
Oh yeah.
Different.
I'm never gonna beat my child.
Yeah.
But I'm never gonna let her just run over my wife and I.
Yeah, absolutely. There has to be a level of respect.
Because kids aren't dumb, dude. Kids are not dumb. And although they don't know it, they know how to manipulate you.
Yes. Well, you hear it all the time of like, okay, we'll go to dad, and he says no, and then they'll go to mom, kind of thing. And I've experienced that in my life too, when I had like stepkids do that, and it was hard on our marriage. It was hard on us because there was a divide between us, especially if we didn't agree. I mean, 100%. I even think about when I was at your house. What was it? Sunday night? Saturday night. It was Saturday night.
Yeah, Saturday night.
Yeah. And I got to see a really cool parenting moment. Can I talk about that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And so I was at Cheeks' house. We were just, shooting the breeze or whatever. And his daughter, she was not supposed to go in her room. Mm-hmm. And she did. And then, I mean, it was kind of cute. And I was just watching it happen. But, and then she lied. And then she immediately told the truth. And it was cool because, I saw both you and your wife take a deep breath, make eye contact to figure out, okay, who's going to handle this? Am I going to handle this? You're going to handle it. And then there was this, amazing trust that I saw, this unspoken trust that no matter what was said, y'all were going to be on the same page. Mm-hmm. How did you get there?
We got there by not starting there.
Okay. Yeah.
So when you are a new parent, like I was,
mm-hmm.
When something happens or she did something that she wasn't supposed to, you immediately go to, why'd you do it?
Yeah.
What were you thinking?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
They're not going to give you an explanation.
Yeah. Yep.
And they're not going to give you here was my thought process when I dropped this.
My thought analysis.
Exactly. So
yeah.
It turned into, okay, we told her, every time you do something and you disobey or you lie, there's consequences.
Yep.
And it's not like in a threatening way, but it's like, hey, this is going to happen if you do that again.
Yeah.
And so we got there by both agreeing on what those things might be
Yeah.
that she finds crucial in her life.
Mm.
And so when we look at each other, it's just like, all right,
We know what to do.
we gotta take that stuff away.
So what I hear you saying, tell me if I'm wrong, is that you guys already had the conversation
Oh yeah.
of like, okay, so like we're having a child. Okay, if our child does this, what's the consequence going to be? If our child does this, what's the consequence going to be?
Because my wife and I, we grew up in two different cultures.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
Your culture was throwing sandals. And,
yeah, exactly, and irons and all that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
other than the obvious that she's like, you know, white and I'm Hispanic.
Yeah, for
just
sure.
the parenting aspect of
Mhm.
it. The disciplinaries were different,
Yeah,
and the actions were different.
yeah.
And so we talked about that, and it came to a point where like we have to understand what she values as like what my kid values as like precious,
Yeah.
and not as a, I don't even know how to say it, like not in like a low hanging fruit type of situation.
Yeah.
But like, for example, she really likes slime.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, you like slime?
Yeah. Okay.
And so there's times where she'll just sit there playing slime for like an hour.
Yeah.
And so I know she values that, and that's like, I know it's a toy, so it's
Yep.
not like a privilege. or
Yeah.
anything,
Yeah. But that's her currency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I like she does something that goes against what we're trying to teach her, and I look at my wife,
Mm-hmm.
and we've already discussed like, okay, if she does this, we're taking away something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so it's not like we look at each other and we're both thinking slime,
Yeah.
or we're both thinking dolls.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm gonna take it, like if I'm gonna take like, okay, you go. You know what I mean? Like if she tells me, hey, figure this out,
Yep.
I can decide.
Yeah.
All right, you're not gonna use the slime for a day.
Yeah.
something.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Or if she takes it, she decides on no dolls,
Yeah.
or whatever the case is.
Yep.
I think that's important. It took a long time to get there though,
Yeah.
because I'm a very impatient person, but it also takes me a long time to actually get angry.
Yeah.
And that's something that I'm learning, that there's still that trust that has to happen, even though I'm very impatient and she's like a planner.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That we're doing the best for what we think is the best for her.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. And obviously, no one's gonna be. There's no perfect father.
Oh, absolutely not.
Except for God the Father.
Okay.
I
thought you were gonna say you. I was like,
No. I'm far from it, man.
no, yeah, and we. I know that, like, even though that was like a good tactic or strategy that we learned, like, we know that there's gonna be times where she might do something and I might be having a bad day and I might respond incorrectly.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But we're trying.
Yeah.
We get there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love how you use like what she thinks is precious as her currency. I think that's smart. And I do the same with my son. Like my son just and you know where I'm at with this. He loves screen time, and I'm like, yo, man, like you gotta allow your kid to be bored, man.
Yeah.
Like, and so like screen time is his currency.
Bro, that was kind of that. Well, we're still kind of dealing with that, but
Okay.
it almost got really bad when we started realizing that she couldn't sit through a kid's movie because she was used to these like dopamine hits of everything changing.
Yep. Yeah.
So like her before like actual screen time, everything. Oh, there's nothing. Before actual screen time, she was really into like Moana, and she's still into it, but like she would want to watch those movies.
Yeah.
Like want to sit down and watch it all.
the movies. Yeah.
Like from beginning to end.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so like screen time started coming along, and those dopamine hits of like 4-minute clips, 2-minute clips.
Like, would
shorts.
you give her like an iPad or a cell phone or something like that?
On certain times.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
And
so she's in control.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
so we
Yep.
started realizing that it was getting bad when she couldn't sit through Frozen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like it was 3 minutes in and she was like already trying to do something else.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So we were like, ooh. And we thought like, oh, maybe she's outgrowing it.
Yeah.
But she loves Frozen. She loves Moana.
Yeah.
She loves Barbies.
Mm-hmm.
And I get there's phases to all of it, but like that phase for her hasn't just ended just yet.
Yeah.
Because
Mm-hmm.
she still like wants to watch them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for whatever reason, because of those dopamine hits, she just can't sit still.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Like I heard like it was like either like a Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram reel. I don't remember. But they were talking about one of the worst things that you can do to your child's development is hand them a device like YouTube Kids and have them be in control of what they're watching, what they're doing, because they get to pick. And if they're bored, they move on to the next thing. And that's part of the reason why like a lot of kids are having ADHD and all these other things is because they're craving that dopamine hit. And so
it's bad. Like another like incident where we noticed that screen time was starting to be an issue. I'm not against it.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, I'm not against screen time, but like we almost lost track of it. We almost lost control of it.
Yeah.
When we would like say, "Hey, you know, you're done with the iPad for today."
Yep.
Flipped out.
Yeah.
Like tantrum.
Yeah.
Like almost like dependent on this device.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "Oh, this is bad.
Yep.
This is not good.
Mm-hmm.
We need to do something about this now."
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, it's like, it sounds really bad, but like the only way that I can think of comparing it to is like when a
crack cocaine.
Yeah, when a drug addict goes through these withdrawals.
100%.
And it's just like it's a whole different personality.
Yeah. When I get, and this is like no offense to like my son's mom or anything, but I can tell when there's times when he's at his mom's house and he's had a lot of screen time because he goes from that and all of these dopamine hits to my house where it's very limited screen time. I mean, like we'll do movie nights and stuff. Like he's had an iPad mini here at my house. That's actually my iPad that I let him use. And he hasn't used that for months.
Oh, geez.
Because I'm just like, I am so against. I'm like when we go to school and stuff, I will have him sit in silence. And I won't turn on music until he's ready until he asks for it.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's times where, like this morning, we had to stop at a gas station because he needed chapstick or whatever. And there's times where I'll prolong it. He's like, "Hey, can you put some music on?" I'm like, "Yeah, after gas station." Get the gas station, get the chapstick. He forgot. We sit in silence. We conversate. Because I know at school, all of a sudden it's going to hit him with everything, and then he'll get music and he'll get that and all these other things. But, like, I'm trying to allow him to be bored. And boredom is so good for kids, man. It's crazy.
It is.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of people that, like, can't find the line between allowing your kid to be bored and neglecting them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Let's dive deeper into that. What do you mean? Like
you can like, let's say your kid, because she does this a lot. She'll like come up to me and be like, "Hey, do you want to play with me?" And maybe I'm doing something or I'm watching something or I'm working. Yeah. And I would say 8 times out of 10, I'll say, yeah. Play.
Yep.
But then there's times where it's like, "Hey, I really can't right now."
Yep.
And so she's like, "But I'm bored." I get it.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, that's not the worst thing in the world. Being bored is not bad.
Yep.
But I never want to get to a point where that boredom becomes neglect.
Yeah.
And then she can't later on in the future come to him and be like, "Hey, can you play with me?"
Yeah. That's so true.
You know, that's what I try to find a balance because my wife and I, we are very like busy people.
Yep.
And it's hard for my wife, like even more because she works from home.
Yep.
And there's times where she stays home.
Yeah.
So to her, and to no fault of hers.
Yep.
she thinks, oh, I'm home, mommy's home, let's play.
Yeah.
But in reality, she has an office.
Yep.
She works from home.
Yep.
She works for a marketing agency out of California.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, so. But she doesn't get that.
Yeah.
And I don't expect her to get that.
Yeah.
But I do want to get to a point where she can be self-sufficient in some areas.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
So that's where we're working on right now too.
Well, like for me, I have an example of like I think it was Saturday day. My son, he joined me for a workout, which was great. You know, we hit a heavy bag, and it was absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, okay, I got to hop in the shower. Like, we're not having screen time, so he's playing with toys. I come out of the shower, and he's like, Dad, I'm bored. I'm just like, hey, man, like, you got to entertain yourself while Dad finishes getting ready. And it kind of broke my heart a little bit. So what did he do? He just laid on his bed. I'm like, bro, you got all these toys here. You got all these toys upstairs. And that was kind of like, I think that was his breaking point or his breaking moment of, okay, like today I'm not having screen time. Mm-hmm. And so it was, I think that was a little bit of the end of the withdrawal for him. And then like things started going better once he realized that. You know, and I'm not trying to say like screen time is like, oh, the devil or anything.
No, not at all.
But it can be
amazing on trips.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. You remember when you went on trips? Mm-hmm. We didn't have screen time.
No, we didn't.
No,
we had a window.
We had, but look at like our imagination.
Yep. Oh, heck yeah.
You know, look at what like our generation has built and done because of that. But yeah, on long trips, don't get me wrong, you know, like giving them screen time is great and it helps.
It's clutch.
It is clutch. And so, there was something I remember last time you said something about like just, raising your kids to be tough. You remember talking about that?
No, like, let's get into it. What we got going on here?
You know, we talked about how also I just gotta give a shout out to Everly. She's doing such a good job. Speaking of being bored, like she's been doing such a good job. So yeah, you killing it, Everly. Yeah. But I remember we were talking about fighting.
Okay.
And how like, hey, we're not gonna teach like, you know, like for me, like, because I've been getting into boxing and heavy bag workouts and stuff. So, like I'm teaching my son like how to punch.
Yeah.
And we talked about how like, I'm not going to teach my kid how to fight just to fight, but to fight to protect himself. Mm-hmm. You remember that? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's important.
Yeah.
You know, I've always told my 11-year-old this. I mean, I can tell her this, but it'll mean nothing to her.
Yeah.
She'll forget it right after I say it. But there was a time where we had a bully situation, and she told me about it.
Your 11-year-old?
Yeah. And I was like, okay, what have you done? That was me learning on the spot, like,
yeah,
hey, let's be a good parent about this.
Yeah. Don't let that inner dad.
Yeah, don't let that inner
guy. Yeah, be like, hey, I need to call Bobby. I need to call Jonathan.
Yeah, like, is there, like, my first question where I caught myself, I was like, how bad is it? And I was like, okay, that's probably not the question I need to ask my 11-year-old.
Why?
Huh?
Why do you think it's not the question that you should ask her?
Because depending on how bad it is, that determines whether I get in or not. Yet.
Okay, gotcha. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I want her to be part of the solution in, like, hey, tell the person, don't do that.
Yeah.
Or if that doesn't work, go talk to a teacher.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And if that doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We know the rest. Yeah.
And so, what I've always told her was, I never want to hear that you started a fight.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get into a fight,
mm-hmm.
finish it.
Yeah.
I don't ever want you to start it.
Yeah.
If that person swings at you first, there's your green light.
Yep. 100%.
But you're gonna have to be the bigger person, and maybe you might take a punch, or they miss, or point is, don't make the first move.
Yeah.
Don't make the first move,
Yeah, absolutely.
because then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
So that's what I've always told her. Like, I
Yep.
don't ever want to hear about you starting fights.
Yeah.
Because then you're a bully.
Yeah.
But if you do get in a fight, finish it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think part of that is like defending yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and it's easy for people to talk, but it's harder for people to be like, "Hey man, I'm done with talking. Like, let's throw some gloves on,
so like,
man."
look, I'm not saying Mike Tyson is the best role model. But there was one thing that he said years ago that stuck to me.
Mm-hmm.
He said everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
So like, everybody has this like, okay, I'm gonna chill, I'm gonna talk to him, and this and that. You get punched, all bets are off.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and I'm the person that I'll see red real quick.
Like
real quick.
Like it's weird because I don't get mad. Wow, I don't get mad easily.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like, if we're gonna get into a fight,
mm-hmm. I'm breaking limbs.
I'm not gonna kill the person.
Yeah, but you're gonna see red.
But I'm right. I'm not gonna. Everything is up for grabs.
Yeah, like I tell people, like there's this saying that I've heard. It's the nice, the quiet, the calm ones that you have to worry about.
Oh, 100%.
And not only that, but like for me, and this is just like the man coming out, but like if you mess with my people, you come to hurt my people, like I'm coming to
yeah.
It'll be very hard for me to be like, Jesus, help me turn the other cheek.
Yeah. And like, I'll be honest with you, like I think, and I don't want to completely speak for my brothers, but I think we've experienced the same thing. Like,
mm-hmm.
And it sucks to even say this, but to a certain extent, ministry gave me that mindset.
In regards to?
Like, if you mess with me, I'm coming for you.
Okay. And how did ministry?
Because
you guys been burnt or?
Oh, dude, we've been burnt 1,000 times over.
Okay.
And all for the sake of being a bigger person and just letting God do his thing. But we're human.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's hard.
Yeah.
And so now, like, if not now, but like, we've always had this mentality because of that. Like, if you mess with one of us, like, you're gonna run into somebody.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If it may not be me, but it might be somebody that I know.
Yeah.
And it might not be your best day.
Yeah, for sure. And it's this hard balance because, like, I feel like, we have this like, the throw the first stone moment, right?
Mm.
Jesus drawing a line in the sand, turn the other cheek. But then we also see, in the Bible, like, man, Jesus went into the temple and he started flipping tables. The homeboy went in there flipping tables.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I don't think that we understand that, like, Jesus, I mean, who's the pastor said that Jesus was like a savage. Elevation Church's pastor, what's his name?
Stephen Furtick.
Yeah, I think he talked about how, like, he had the Savage series, Jesus Savage, kind of thing. But like, there was moments where Jesus was like, "Yo, like, bro,
yeah,
like, I'm gonna go in there and
like,
flip these tables."
You think about it, like, it says in scripture that God is love.
Yes,
he is, but it also goes on to say that he's also consuming fire.
Yeah, and fire burns.
Yeah. So he's gonna have to handle whatever he has to handle.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not saying we're God and we can take that stance.
Yeah,
or we should take that stance.
Yeah,
but
you mess with my people.
Yeah.
That's a hard and like, even me, I've been, and we're getting into more of like, something that I'm switching up with this podcast for you and for the listeners is that, like, yes, this podcast is about fathers. I'm having fathers on this podcast, but I also just want to talk about masculinity and positive masculinity, because there's so much like red pill content out there.
Oh yeah,
that is like negative, and like even like how we are talking about the struggle of like masculinity, of like, yo, like, we want to be compassionate, but also
But you're
there's that
pushing the wrong buttons.
when you push the wrong buttons, dude, the dog is gonna come out.
Yeah.
The wolf is gonna
Like there's this like, I don't even know how it goes exactly, but there's like a cliche like saying that like people don't understand what we had to go through
Mm-hmm.
in order to be this nice.
Yeah, yeah. Tim, he's a veteran, right? That's the right word.
Like-
Veteran.
Somebody from the military.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, yeah,
Yep. Tim something. And he was on.
I read it, so I don't know who.
Yeah.
said it, so
But he talked about the same thing of like, dude, he's like, people don't understand why I'm so nice.
Yeah.
They don't understand that I mean, this person specifically, he's like, they're like, and he didn't admit it, but like, this person has killed people.
Yeah.
For our country.
I bet.
And this person is a warrior.
That's wild. Yeah.
And so he's like, so I am nice because I've seen the ugly side of things. I've had to go through the mental, the physical, all of these things. I've seen things, but I'm nice because like I don't want my kids or my people to see that. But if something happens,
oh dude, it's on.
like I'm not afraid to go back there. And I'm okay to go back there. There's a moment in my life, and I'm not gonna get into specifics. But
say that
there's
again?
Specifics.
There you go.
Okay, cool. Thanks. He makes fun of me because
I can't talk either. So
yeah.
we're good.
But like there was a moment in my life where I almost had to take someone else's life.
Really?
And it was a moment of it would have been their life or mine.
Dang.
And the whole time I was calm, I was collect, I was fine. And I praise God that like I had a way out.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to do that. But once like it's one of those things where it's like at that moment I realized like I'm completely comfortable going there if I have to go there.
Yeah, especially dude, like I honestly like the past year, past 2 years, I've gotten really close to my brother Jonathan.
Yeah.
And we like honestly like now the perspective I have and like it kind of trickled down to you.
Yeah.
But like there's moments where I see him struggling and I don't want to tell him, but I want to find that person that's making that struggle happen.
Yeah.
But my there's a lot that comes into play now.
Yeah. You doing all right,
You
Everly?
good? Can I have a sit down, please?
You're doing a good job.
Thank you, baby.
Killing it.
Like one, I have kids.
Yep.
I'm married.
Yep.
I work in ministry.
Yep.
There's a lot. I have a lot to lose.
Yeah. Agreed.
But there's that like this should not be happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no reason that person can't be taken care of.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying killed.
Yeah. But like, yeah. I know what you mean. But like something like, like
Something needs to happen.
Something needs to happen. And I think that's like, and like we're talking about this because like this is like we're not talking about it because like we're proud of it or anything.
No, yeah.
But this is an internal struggle.
Oh yeah.
That we have.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of men that would like, especially going back to that red pill content, they'll be like, okay, go teach that person a lesson.
Yeah.
Go do that person. I mean, we were in a certain situation with a friend. Not going to get into any details on this, where someone stole something and like everything in me was like, tell me where this person is.
Mm-hmm.
But then I remember that night I got in my car and I was just like, the Lord kind of just hit me. It's like, I understand that you value that friendship and that person, but pray for your enemies.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, come on, Lord. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I want to find the person that's like, and it brings me to tears because it's like, I want to find, like, that's how much I love my friends, is that like, I want to, and I have such a protective heart, and you know this, like I have such a protective heart that it's like all I want to do is like, you hurt my friends, you hurt my homies. Like it takes literally an act of God every day to be like, Bobby, don't do anything because you have a lot to lose.
Yeah, a lot.
And so it's like, man, by the grace of God, there are a lot of people standing, and that's not like a threat or anything, but that's just the reality of it, you know? And the sad thing, like you said, is that ministry taught you that. Like, dude, believers can be the worst, man.
Dude, the people that give Christianity the worst rep is Christians.
Yeah. And it's crazy because what does the Bible say? The world will know your love by how you love each other.
You'll know them by their fruits.
And I was like, bro.
Yeah, and that's like, that can easily turn people off to Christianity so fast.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
But there's not much that's gonna take me away from my actual belief in God.
Yeah.
And how He actually functions in my life.
Because my faith doesn't rely on other people.
Yeah.
Other people's faith, but it relies on my relationship with the Lord.
And bro, like, I'm not gonna get into detail about this, but almost every single pastor or person in ministry that has threatened my parents, humiliated my parents, like screwed my parents over or us. It sounds drastic, but it's true. Like they're either sick or dead with us not doing anything.
Yeah.
And that's just like, okay. I mean,
yep.
That's what happens when you kind of mess with a child of God, and that happens to anyone. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
We're no special people. We're just that's it sucks to say that because like they're.
Well, it just goes to show that it's like us as believers, like even though we like we just talked about, we struggle with, you know, like flipping tables in an unbiblical way versus turning the other cheek or flipping tables in a biblical way. You know, it shows the power of one God and also the power of prayer and how important the power of prayer is, man. Yeah, that's crazy. Well, I think we should end on well, let me, before we like wrap this up, I want to talk about, you've seen the movie Den of Thieves, right?
Yeah.
And you obviously have a daughter, right? Do you remember the part in the movie where 50 Cent's daughter was going on a date, right? And
they go to that garage.
They go to that garage, and there's like 6 of them, dude. Between Everly and then my other, I say niece, Zoe, my other niece. I'm like, man, I hope that we can do that. Could you imagine me, Jonathan, or me, you, Dre?
Yeah, that's like that's like my actual like thought process of things. Like there's certain, like I told my 11-year-old this.
Yeah,
and she's like, okay. I was like, look, baby. Whenever the time comes where you start dating, it's not just me that the guy's going to have to meet.
Yeah.
I said there's 3 other dudes. It's you, Jonathan, and Andre.
Yes. Yes.
And not to put the fear of God in this guy, but like just to realize that, hey, if something happens, I'm not. If I'm not there, these dudes will probably be there.
Yeah. And so if you haven't seen the movie Den of Thieves, there's the moment, like I said, 50 Cent is in the movie. His daughter in the movie is going on a date. 50 Cent's like, hey, to the dude, like, hey, I need to talk to you real quick. Brings them to the garage, and there's 6 guys, and they just angry, mad face, intimidated.
Killers, bro.
Killers. Some of them big, super tatted. And 50 Cent gives them this speech, and then the kid's like shaking, and then he's like, okay, you can go back. I'm gonna chop it up with the boys. We're almost done, Everly, I promise. I'm gonna chop it up with the boys, and then they all start laughing. So with Everly or Zoe, I can just imagine like, all right, hey, we're going out to the garage, and I'm just in there like just cleaning my AR. Cleaning my handgun.
You're dumb.
Yeah. Andre's just like, what's up?
He just posted up somewhere.
Yeah.
But like that's like you guys are like they have actual like they have uncles.
Yeah.
You know, you guys aren't just friends. Like
Yeah.
Obviously Jonathan's like the biological
Yeah,
uncle,
yeah,
whatever
blood,
the case
yeah.
is. But you and Andre, like those are hers and my 11-year-old uncles.
Yeah.
Like I've given permission to Jonathan and you and Andre to like if you need to correct them, like
Yeah.
go for it.
Yeah. And I think it's important because, you know, we're doing life together and like our kids are seeing fruit of that, you know, and it's like it takes a village to raise a child, you know, and yet we still get to do life together. And the same, let's like when I went to your house last Saturday night, I'm like, hey, we're going to Uncle Cheeks' house, or we're going to Uncle Jonathan's house, or Uncle Dre, or Uncle Trav, you know, kind of thing. And these are the guys that are like the 12 men that I have in my life. Those are uncles to
Your kid.
to my kid.
Yeah.
And so, because I know if I leave or if I die, my son is taken care of. There's going to be 12 men that will step up and take care of my son in some kind of capacity, you know, some more than others. But anyways, I know we're getting a little long-winded and we got to let Everly get back to the games. How long have we been going so far?
How long?
Almost an hour. Okay, but we got to end on this, all right? We got to tell them the story.
Time out. What story?
The story of the branding of your knee and the branding. Or what we can do is we can wait on that.
Let's wait on that.
Let's wait. We'll bring it back. I'll have you on again.
Yeah.
We'll crack a lot of jokes.
I'll be back.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, this is the most filtered I have ever been in my entire life.
100%.
Other than like when I'm at church. Oh, I'm struggling right now, guys. I'm struggling. But I respect this guy and I believe in his podcast and what he wants to do. So I'm gonna chill.
Yeah.
I'm gonna chill.
So we're gonna end it, but before we do, let's talk about the podcast that you're part of and that
you're a part of.
Well, we're both.
You're
hosts.
a host, bro.
I know. I used to be a producer. Now I'm a host.
Yeah.
But I want you to talk about it. I don't want me to talk about it. So.
We took a pause on a podcast that initially started with myself and my two other brothers, Alex and Jonathan. The reason we started the podcast was because every time we're at a dinner table, we've always said, man, imagine if we had a podcast and these conversations were there. Mm-hmm. And so one day we were like, screw it, let's just do it.
Yeah.
And so we did it and we started off and my brother Alex, he ended up moving out of state.
Yep.
So we took a pause just to kind of refocus and remember why we're doing it.
Yeah.
And right before we took a pause, we brought in Bobby.
Producer Bobby.
As a producer and a fact checker.
That's right. Worst fact checker ever.
And that's the beauty of it.
Still the fact checker.
Yeah. And so when my brother Alex stepped down, we were like, why would we want to look for anywhere else? We have Bobby here. We're gonna make him a host.
Yeah.
And so my brother Jonathan, myself, and Bobby, we host this podcast called Between Us.
Yep.
Which is gonna start again here in a couple weeks.
Yep, in February.
And it's just us sitting around, comfortable, just talking about literally anything and everything.
Yep.
Hey.
We're on the home stretch.
This is the last thing, okay? This is the last thing.
Yeah.
And we're gonna continue, to talk about everything and anything and everything.
Yep.
I'll probably be a little filtered there too.
Yeah. But it's us a little more unfiltered.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
This is like when you want to laugh a little.
Yeah.
You turn that on.
Yeah, you turn that on.
When you want to learn how to be a better dad, you watch this podcast.
Yeah.
But if you want to talk about a headless chicken that was in a carnival for about a year,
you
come talk to us.
Was alive for 18 months.
You know what I'm saying?
You know
come
what I'm
talk
saying?
to us.
Yeah.
Or if you want to talk about how No, I can't say that here. Damn. Okay.
You know, talk about how I mispronounce
Yeah,
words.
mispronounced words.
We have an episode on that.
We have a full Google Doc.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Straight out Google Doc.
And so, if you want to hear about that Google Doc, I was gonna say something else about that Google Doc. You come check us out.
Yeah. Well, you're about to be unfiltered
Yeah,
here.
you better get me off this mic, dog.
Yeah. Well, I seriously thank you so much for recording this podcast for the third time.
Nah, dude, this is fun. I love doing this stuff.
I appreciate that. We'll definitely have you on again, maybe a little bit. I want to make people laugh, and I think you can. So I think we have some fun stories. I think it's important for men to laugh. So maybe next time I'll have you on a couple months, and we can just like maybe be a little bit unfiltered.
Absolutely.
But where can people find you, brother? On the gram.
On the gram.
Yeah.
If you find me, find me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. If you find them, find them.
Yeah.
Best words done by Cheeks. Well, thank you so much for
Of course, man.
coming on, man. Thank you guys so much for listening if you made it this far. Yeah, so thank you so much for tuning into the Father Built podcast. This is where we build up fathers and men in holiness, healthiness, happiness, aiming to give these men the tools to build their house of legacy. This is Cheeks. I'm your host, Bobby Peacock. Thank you so much for watching. We out. Everly, do you have anything you want to say into the mic? No?
No? Okay.
All right.
Peace out, dogs.
Peace. Oh, yeah. Peace, love, blessings. We out.